Are you ready? Go!
Alright, yo, welcome back to Retro ReWire. My name is JJ, and we're going to be doing another In the Hunt. And once again, we find ourselves in Okegawa, Saitama. In part 1, we took a look at the display case and the junk section, and we left off with the games. Now, before anything, please like, comment, and subscribe, as that really helps out the channel. But let's go ahead and get underway, and we'll continue back in the game aisle. And as you can see, we have GameCube, PlayStation, 3DO, PC Engine, Sega Saturn, PS1 and PS2, fully loaded little section here. Let's go ahead and start with the GameCube section, as it's one that I'm always usually overlooking. But we have a Super Mario Sunshine there, we have Custom Robo for 15 and 10 respectively, and then of course Tales of Symphonia for $3 and Crazy Taxi for 15, which I wonder if that port is any good. I haven't played it myself. But we have some Mario Party action, and then I guess the best of the bunch in my opinion would be this Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. Simple cover, but the red really sells it, and it's going for about $25 more or less. Should have picked this one up, but because of the language barrier, I decided to just let the other person, the next person, pick that up. You know how it goes. But anyhow, small GameCube section, but as you can see, they had a few heavy hitters. But we're going to gloss over a few of these games. We have Persona 2, and speaking of that, I'll be hopefully doing an unboxing of Shin Megami Tensei 5, so check that out, please, of course. And then we have, I think this is Momotaro for the Sega Saturn, based off a manga. And then we have Quiz Avenue. Haven't played this before. But Master of Monsters, this is a strategy RPG game, which is another one that I have not played. But I have played this, Overdriving, which is known as Need for Speed in the West. Freaking awesome game. And then we have Fatal Fury Special there. Pretty cool one. And then, of course, NFL 2K for $2. Kind of funny to see this one out here out in the wild. And then we have Shenmue 2 for $30, which just get the HD remaster. Anyhow, we have Square USA presents the cinematic RPG Parasite Eve. Kind of funny that it has the Square USA there on the cover. And then we have some baseball action. Kind of a cool cover on this one. But anyhow, next section we have some Wii U, we have Wii, Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and of course more PlayStation 2. And we'll kind of start at the top and then just kind of work our way down. We have Occultic 9, which is kind of a funky cover there for $40. I believe this got a Western release. And then we have Sunset Overdrive for $10, which is actually a cool game. Played a little bit of that. And then Titanfall 2 for $15. I actually do own this game, but I have yet to break it open and play it. And then we have Star Ocean: The Last Hope, and a few other 360 games. Rise of the Tomb Raider. I believe this one was exclusive to the 360. I mean, it was on other current gen and other platforms, but between the 7th gen, it was just a 360. Then we have The Last Story, and then the vanilla version of Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Now in the West, we got the full release that includes all the characters. And then we have No More Heroes, but I believe this version is censored, which is unfortunate. And then we have Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop, which is another teen rating. Definitely stick to the 360 or PS4, PS3, or not PS3. Anyhow, we have Zombie U, Bayonetta here for $20, which includes part 1 and part 2. And then, of course, we have a load of PlayStation 2 games. Now, I'm not going to really focus too much on this here, so definitely feel free to pause. But I will show a couple games, which is we have the classic Onimusha here for $2, which includes limited English language options, which is kind of cool to see in such an early PS2 title. And then, of course, Maximo for $3. Definitely a cool cover. Unfortunately, it was not complete, which is probably why it was so cheap. But here we go, we're making our way down to PlayStation 3 and some more PlayStation 2. They had quite a bit of PlayStation 2 titles. And this store actually had about, I want to say like about 3 or 4 game aisles. They were just loaded. Anyhow, we have Silent Hill Downpour. This is a so-so game, but definitely cool to play it in 3D. And then we have Tekken Hybrid, which is another 3D game that includes the movie Blood Vengeance. Should have picked that one up, but perhaps next time. We're just going to gloss over these PlayStation 2 games. Like I said, quite a bit of PS2 goodness. And as you can see there, they have Nocturne and, of course, God Hand for $15. Now, God Hand, last I checked, was still available on the PlayStation Network. So that's one way to play it if you're kind of interested in that game, which has a little bit of a cult following. But anyhow, we'll make our way here. We have some more PlayStation 3 titles, and there's a few PS2 games there in the bin. But just loaded. It's just so much. It's hard to show everything, and I'll kind of keep repeating that sentiment because, like I said, 3 aisles of games. But anyhow, we have a few more Xbox One titles here. These are all Z rating, or M for mature would be the equivalent, and they keep these kind of separate just to keep them out of the hands of like younger kids. I believe you have to be 18 or older to purchase these, 20 or older, something like that. Then we have Alien Isolation for $20. Definitely a cool game. I have that on the PlayStation 3, which is probably the worst version, but you know, I'm a sucker for the PS3, so whatever, all good. Let's just check out a few more of these games. We have the Devil May Cry HD collection for $8. It's a pretty good collection that's available for most modern hardware. And of course, Okami HD. This is also available on the Switch. I believe the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, as well as Steam. PS3 version is definitely cool, and of course the original being on the PlayStation 2. Then we have Persona 5 and Odin Sphere for $35 and $20 respectively, next to Tales of Graces, and a few RPGs here, a few action games, and then we have, of course, Final Fantasy 13-3 Lightning Returns. This one, I believe, was kind of interesting, but I didn't really like the time mechanic from what I played. Only played the demo. But anyhow, let's go ahead and keep it retro here. We're going to take a look at a few retro games, and we'll start with the Famicom. And as you can see, quite a few Famicom disc games with Castlevania there for $20, and a whole bunch of carts. So many carts. Some of these are pretty pricey, as you will see here in just a minute. But yeah, I mean, we have Contra here, a few Contras, $40 there, $60, and then we have Swordmaster for $80, and that's just loose in the cart. That's kind of expensive, but I don't know, maybe it's a good game. I haven't actually played it, but it looks kind of decent. And then we have $120 for Rockman 2, Mega Man 2, and $60 there for Part 3, I believe it was. And then we have Rolling Thunder there for $25, which is also available on the Nintendo Switch, which is a part of the Pac-Man collection, which is actually a very good collection. And then we have some more Rockman action there for $18 and Lupin for $40. Anyhow, let's go ahead and keep the show moving. As you can see, that display case here is just jam-packed, and as you will see, most of it is just going to be Goemon titles. But we have Choma Kaimura for $15 and Rockman X2 for $15. And just an assortment of titles here, a few RPGs, of course, some Kirby games, and then we have Bomberman 5 there for $20, 2 copies. And then look at all these Goemon video games. We have Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and they all kind of range between $10 and $15. And we even have more hanging on the peg hooks here. There's just so much Goemon, which is kind of a testament to how popular it was during the 90s. But we have Rockman X there for $15, another Goemon 3 and Part 2 for $15 respectively. Just so much of that series, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it myself, but definitely loaded with that. And then we have R-Type for $15, Battletoads for $80, and next to that was a Sonic Wings, which I believe was for $40. And then we have Castlevania 4 for $40. Below that was a Super Metroid. Just so many games. Tiny Toons there in the box for about $32. Above that, Choma Kaimura, a couple copies there. And of course, some more Goemon for $8. That's a classic one. And then, speaking of classic, we got the classic Nintendo games there: Mario Kart, Mario Paint, Mario RPG, Super Mario Land 2, all sorts of goodness. And look at this, Back to the Future 2, $300. That's freaking crazy. Next to that, we have the loose cart for $35. We got Lion King, Clock Tower for $140. We have Kirby there for $30. Super Mario RPG for $18, and of course above the JoJo's Bizarre we have another Goemon there for about $30. And then we have a few accessories here for the PlayStation. We have this PSP accessory. I'm not sure what quite that is, but looks interesting nonetheless. And then of course the beautiful teal colored GameCube controller for $30, not too bad. And then we have this PlayStation Vita a couple of them here for 60 and 50 bucks respectively, and I'm thinking there's something wrong with them, or they don't include all the accessories. Maybe I think that one above it had a little bit of a scratch on the screen, but nothing that can't be repaired. We have this Game & Watch, this Donkey Kong, for about 20 bucks, and next to that we have the Game Boy Micro for 60 bucks. Kind of mean looking little system there. And then of course memory cards for the PlayStation Vita for 5, 10, and 20 bucks respectively. Not too bad, I guess. And then this PS2 memory card, 15 bucks, kind of expensive there, but I haven't really seen that baby bluish color. And then of course more PlayStation Vitas for all three are going for 80 bucks. The white one is definitely calling my name, but I already have a PlayStation Vita, but we have this 2DS there for 70, a 3DS for 50, and a couple Wonder Swans for 30 and 20 bucks. Definitely would like to get a Wonder Swan sometime in the future, as it looks very cool. And look at this, Sonic Sega All-Star Racing. This is the North American version for 45 bucks. Kind of interesting to see out in the more of the rural areas of Japan. And then we have a Lime DSi, that looks pretty cool. And then we have, of course, handheld games. We have Tetris, Dr. Mario in the box, and those boxes look clean. I gotta admit, they look very clean. We have Last Bible, not sure what that is, but that's 5 bucks. And then of course Rockman World 5 for 10. Not a bad price there. Got a Mickey Mouse game there for 15 bucks. And Battletoads there for 70 next to Cubert for 20. I wonder how that Battletoads game is. Then we have Roadster there for 15, and then we have Bonk for about 40 bucks. And of course Ninja Gaiden up there. I definitely would like to try out the Game Boy Advance version. We have Zelda for 10, and then at the very, very bottom, well, we have Turtles 3 there for 20, but at the very bottom we have Castlevania for 15. Now this version is so-so, not the best. Definitely so-so. Anyhow, look at these Game Boy Advance games. 100 bucks and 90 bucks for each of those copies of Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is kind of a cool little port for the Game Boy Advance. And then we have Tekken for 25. And then of course a couple other titles there, as you can see kind of quickly. Maybe you can't see, but PC Engine here, we have Gradius Gradius for 30 bucks, and then we have Final Soldier there for about 40 bucks, and then we have Night Trap for 15 bucks. Look at that cover, look at her face. I've seen the North American version, but I've never seen the Japanese version up close and personal, but kind of a funky looking cover. And then of course King of Fighters 95 and 96, Super Rockman Adventure for the Sega Saturn next to Grandia, and then Golden Axe for 20, Megalomania. What do we have here? This one is kind of interesting, Treasureland, the Ronald McDonald game, which I believe was developed by Treasure. Kind of an interesting game. I have played it, but that was many, many moons ago. Then we have Sonic Drift 2 for 10 bucks, next to a role-playing game for 30 bucks, both on the Game Gear. Definitely nice to see a couple boxed Game Gear. And then we have Monaco GP for 10 bucks. As well as a few loose titles. Then we have MSX games. Now, in part 1, I did show off the MSX system, so it's kind of cool that they have the games and the console available. And then a few more GameCube titles. And then above that, Nintendo 64, of course. And a lot of it is just going to be your Nintendo games, Nintendo made and published games. And they're all fairly cheap. I mean, look at Smash Bros. For 3 bucks. In the States, that's not going to happen. And then we have a few more Mega Drive cards here. Not sure what these games are, but if you look at the covers, they're freaking awesome. And those covers are probably why the Mega Drive didn't sell as well, as video games were more often for younger kids. And, you know, this is definitely aimed at an older audience, but definitely cool covers. Vermilion there. That's a Yu Suzuki game. And then we have Shining Force here for 8 bucks. King Colossus for 10, not sure what that is. And then behind that we have like a Romance of the Three Kingdoms type game for 10. And then we have a few Wonder Swan games. Hunter, Cross Hunter, I believe that is, for 10, and then Gundam Generations for 10. And those boxes are in pretty good condition, as you can see. And then of course we have the Ram Cart for the Mega Drive CD, Sega CD, and some PlayStation 1 games. Front Mission 3 for 40, Blaze and Blade for 45, Saga Frontier for 40 bucks. Kind of a mix mash of games there. Anyhow, this is pretty much going to be the episode. As you can see, there are a couple of PS2 games. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Okegawa hard off. Hopefully have a few more videos down the pipeline very, very soon. But as always, thank you for watching. My name is JJ, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Ciao.